And they won by 27 points. They're 130 points a game, most in a playoff game since 1986. Well, Dwyane Wade's like, hey, y'all must have forgot about me, because I'm coming in this one. And Ben Simmons, like, I'm just chilling, do my thing too. Three-point shooting, a huge factor again. The 76ers shot 64% in the first game. J.J. Redick 1 for 7. Marco Bellinelli 2 for 8. Robert Covington 0 for 7. Philly shoots 2 for 18 from deep in the first half. But again, here comes Wade, Sam.
Well, I mean, he's turned back the clock tonight, regardless of what anybody say. He just took this game over, and in the 25 minutes that he played, look at these moves, Chris, the jump shots. And then again, when I know I have certain favorable matchups, Dwyane Wade is saying, hey, remember me? You better not put anybody on my same age on me.
Well, the combination of Ben Simmons and Dario Saric, that's a pretty good connection. Ben looks for him.
Yeah, he does. They've got terrific chemistry. And in that second half, they were desperate, and it was really good to see how they responded to the adjustments that the Heat had made. You see here, Ben with the breakaway. I don't know if you get a touchdown.
You get 6 points for that.
You get 6, okay.
That's how you come back fast.
Okay.
But Miami, like, you know what? We see you guys trying to pull a little bit closer. Goran Dragic doing his best into Dwyane Wade. The fadeaway on Covington. And James Johnson also going to the basket. But Brett Brown, like, we are still in this, fellas.
All we need is a few sniffs. We just got to get like 3-4 possessions in a row, and we'll get back in this thing. We need 2-3 stops in a row. Get this building going.
Sam, that sounds like you. Minus the profanity, I think.
Yeah, well, you know, you don't have to curse. It's playoffs, and, you know, that's the motivation. It's self-motivation at this point right now. And Philadelphia just, look, Miami was more physical. They didn't respond in the appropriate way, and being a young team, it's going to be interesting, Greg, to see how they bounce back on the road in Miami after losing, you know, game 2 after you pretty much had your way in game 1.
Well, Philly goes on a 17-5 run. Dario Saric, 10 fourth-quarter points, had 23 in the game, but there is the crucial turnover, and Flash is back.
And that play was so huge because it looked like at that point Philly was going to come back and take the lead. Dwyane with the steal and finish, and then that dagger of a mid-range there to seal the deal.
28 points for Dwyane Wade, most ever in a playoff game for a Heat player coming off the bench. Clearly, Eric Spoelstra appreciated his elder statesman playing like a young man.
Yeah, I saw moments. That's what defines Dwyane Wade. Felt like he played 40 minutes tonight. He only played 25, and it probably would have been less if we didn't give up that lead. But you know, he was. I always say it's like that country song. Not as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was.
You know, when you got people like Kevin Hart's talking on the sideline, when you got the crowd, you know, going through and saying all the things they're saying. I heard a lot of things tonight, and it's all just used as motivation. And to be able to hush a whole crowd, that's a great feeling.
Brett, in terms of the three-point line, 7 for 36. If they're not falling, do you want them to go and maybe get a different shot?
It's been sort of who we are lately, and without Joel, it's really, I think, I don't know, I hope it's smart, like to cater what you're doing to the team's strengths. And so I think what it does do for me, though, D, is it highlights the need to when you're seeking to become a whole team, you need Joel Embiid.
Joel just went on social media, and I'll give you the PC version of what he said. He said he's sick and tired of being babied. What has he said to you in terms of frustration with what's going on with him right now?
He just wants to play basketball. He wants to be with his team. He wants to play in front of the fans. You know, he wants to see this through. And when he's not able to do that, he gets frustrated.
So Dwyane Wade passes Larry Bird for the most playoff points. He moves up to 10th on that list. So Wade, again, great game for him. Do they need more performances like this from him, Sam, or is this one game good enough to kind of light that fire for Miami?
Well, this is the playoffs. They're going to need multiple games from Dwyane Wade. Maybe not like this. but he needs to come in and be able to get him 14, 16, 17 points. But the main thing Dwyane Wade did tonight was show these young players, these inexperienced players, how to play and how to win in the playoffs and how to pick yourself up after a devastating loss in game one, that it's just one game. And at the end of the day, you know this, Greg, the series don't start until the visiting team win a game. Well, guess what? Game two, the visiting team has won a game. So we now have a series because if you're Brett Brown, you're sitting there saying, if we don't win game three, now home court advantage has flipped, and now we're going to be on our heels. So the complexity of this series has changed right now.
Joel Embiid, you heard Brett Brown address it once and then address it again after he was told about this. There's a word there that we're not going to say on television. Sick and tired of being babied is Joel Embiid. And then he also later actually spoke to Ramona Shelburne and said that he understands that he might not play on Thursday, but he wants to be out there with his team. Is this healthy for the 76ers?
Absolutely, it's healthy. And he's also, listen, a guy that they're built around. And especially when those three-pointers you saw tonight, they didn't shoot it well, 7 of 36. They're not going to win in this series if they're not able to score consistently because it doesn't allow them to defend. And so, listen, he's their best player. He's the matchup nightmare for basically anybody in the league. And they're going to need him, I think, big picture-wise, if they want to have a chance to advance and do damage in the postseason.
One thing you have to understand, when you shoot a lot of threes and you don't not making them, that's the first pass on the fast break for the opposing team. Second, when you have a guy like Joel Embiid in the lineup and you can run your offense through him at times and you're getting closer looks at the basket, the defense is having to collapse and shrink, and now you're going to get better opportunities. Tonight, what Miami did, they took away those threes. They forced Philadelphia into some tough shots, and when they couldn't make those threes and Ben Simmons couldn't dominate the game passing, they were stuck because that's been their formula for these 17 games when they was on their winning streak to win it.
We saw Dwyane Wade and Kevin Hart going at it during the game, which is, an interesting thing to say. And then Kevin Hart says, see you in Miami at Dwyane Wade. It's not over. Of course, Kevin Hart, a huge Philadelphia sports fan. That includes the 76ers. We saw the Heat get right. Can the Wizards against the Raptors? We'll talk about that next.